Hi everyone, it's great to see you again. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. In today's lesson, we're going to learn some important nouns related to money, 돈. So let's go straight into it. Okay, so let's first look at banknotes and coins, and they are 지폐, 지폐, and 동전, 동전. And in this word 지폐, the syllable 지 relates to paper, and 폐 relates to money or currency. And the actual Korean word for currency is 화폐, 화폐. The next word is cash, and cash in Korean is 현금, 현금. And in terms of pronunciation, because of nasalization, the 니은 받침 in 현 is pronounced as an 이응 sound. So it's not 현금, but it's 현금, 현금. Now, the Korean word for a check is 수표, 수표. However, the concept of checks in Korea is a little different from the concept of checks in other countries. In the UK, people can write their own checks. So people write how much the check is worth, who it's for, and then they sign it, and that becomes a check. But in Korea, people don't write their own checks, 수표, and 수표 is issued by the bank only. So it's kind of similar to bank-issued checks in the UK. Okay, so moving on, we now have the word for a change. And the English word change can refer to both loose change, as in small amounts of money, but also change we get from shops after paying for something. But in Korea, we actually have different words for each of these meanings. First, loose change is 잔돈, 잔돈. 잔돈 generally refers to loose change, small amounts of money, usually some coins. And to refer to change you get after paying for something, we say 거스름돈, 거스름돈. 거스름 is the noun form of the verb 거스르다. And 거스르다 means to give change or to receive change. So 거스름돈 is specifically used to refer to money you get after paying for something. Now, another really important word in Korea is pocket money. And this is 용돈, 용돈. And 용돈 means pocket money or allowance. And as well as teenagers in Korea, I think in many households, the money, the financial side of things is managed by the wife, and husbands often get allowance. I know that when I lived in Korea, I also got allowance, 용돈, from my wife. And I also knew many other men who lived on 용돈, which never seemed to be enough. But there you go. Now, a really important syllable relating to money is the syllable P. This syllable P relates to expenses and costs, and it's used in many nouns relating to the meaning of expenses. So, 생활비, 생활비 means living expenses, and 생활 means life or living. 학비, 학비 is tuition, and 학 relates to studying or education. And 식비, 식비 is food expenses, and 식 relates to food or meals. And remember that the formal Korean word for a meal is 식사, 식사. And the actual Korean word for expenses is 비용. And we can also use this word with certain nouns and describe expenses related to that noun. So 여행 비용, 여행 비용 is travel expenses. 결혼 비용, 결혼 비용 is wedding expenses. And 이사 비용, 이사 비용 is moving expenses. So 비용 can be used with other nouns or just on its own to refer to some form of expenses. Okay, so finally, let's look at how we refer to different types of cards in Korea. First, we have the credit card, and a credit card in Korean is 신용카드, 신용카드. And as you can imagine, the word 신용 means credit. Then we have the word for a debit card, and this in Korean is 체크카드, 체크카드. So 체크카드 is the card we use to withdraw money from our bank accounts and also to pay for things in shops, and then that automatically withdraws money from our bank accounts. Now, there is another type of card called 현금카드, 현금카드, and as we learned before, 현금 means cash. So 현금카드 kind of means cash card. And in the old days, this card was only used to withdraw money from the bank account or to deposit money into the bank account. So you couldn't use it to pay for things in shops. But I think a few years ago that was changed. So you now might be able to, but I'm not exactly sure about the regulations in banks. But there is another type of card in Korea called 현금 카드, which basically means cash card. Okay, so that's it for this lesson on learning some important nouns related to money. And I will see you soon again with another useful and fun, interesting Korean lesson. See you soon again. Bye-bye.